Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. I really hope you stay. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. So today I'm going to be doing a green poison ivy inspired look. Also, to stay connected, make sure you follow me on my socials down in the description below. Let's get straight into the video. I like to start off with some skincare and use my L.A NYX dark spot toner, and I just pat that all over my face. After that, I like to go in with some hyaluronic acid from the Inky list and apply that all over my face. I make sure I don't only get my face, I make sure I get my neck and my chest areas too. I then follow it up with their vitamin C serum. And another vitamin C serum, I'm using the Innisfree serum. I'm using about 2 pumps of that. Applying that all over my face and my neck. After that, I'm taking my under eye cream from the Inky list and applying that under my eyes and taking my ring finger to pat that in gently. Because it's like really sensitive, so you just gotta be gentle with it. And following that up with some moisturizer from The Ordinary and just applying that all over my face. So I like to finish my skincare with some SPF. I like to use a Neutrogena SPF 50. I just go crazy with it. Everyone needs sunscreen every day, please. The sun is bad. I normally like to start off my makeup off by doing my brows. I like to use a Got2b glue, the black one, and just brush up my ears upwards. And following that up with a basic brown pencil. So when I'm satisfied with how it looks, I just go and clean it up with the concealer. I'm using the shades Cappuccino and Caramel from NYX Cosmetics. So I only like to do the bottom. I don't really like to do the top. So I just like take care of the bottom and use my fluffy brush to just clean it up and make it nicer. When it comes to primers, I like to use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer and following up with the orange concealer and just conceal all my dark spots and my hyperpigmentation. I then go in with a face mist from NYX and use my Real Technique sponge just to blend it all out. So after I'm satisfied with the blending, I then go in with my foundation, Born This Way foundation in the shade Cocoa, and I just distribute the product all over my face. So I then start blending with a brush, but normally I like to alternate between a brush and my Real Technique sponge. And I just alternate between the two till I'm satisfied with how it looks. I just keep blending and blending. So I just like to dab the product into my skin and give it that seamless look. I know it looks like I'm stabbing it, but I'm not. I just try to get my neck and every area. So when it comes to concealers, I like to use the Born This Way concealer in the shade Chestnut. And I just get the areas I would like my features to pop more. So that's like the corners of my nose, the bridge of my nose, the corners of my eyes, my chin, and the top of my lip. So I like to wait a few seconds to get tacky a little bit, but don't be like me, don't use the mirror to fan it, but just wait a little bit and just start blending with my blending brush. For me, I prefer using the brush to blend out my concealer. I really don't like using the Technique sponge right away. I just use that for the corners of it to clean it up a little bit so I'm satisfied with how it looks. I then use the same concealer for my eyelid primer just to prime my eyes and blend it with a brush to give it a clean base, a canvas to like work on. So it's just pretty much alternating between the brush and the sponge and just seeing how I like it just to give it a seamless look. And I just alternate between those two till I'm satisfied with how it looks. When it comes to contour, I like to use the drop foundation, the shade Ebony, and the second one, the Revolution one, in the shade C14. So I pretty much like to get my cheekbones and my forehead and the corners of my nose. Sometimes I like to do my jaw, it just depends on how I'm feeling. So after placing the product where I intend, I then like to brush upwards just to give it that lift. And the products that are on my forehead, I like to brush it downwards, but I mostly like to brush it upwards. After I'm done with blending out my contour, I then go in with the concealer I use for my brows, the caramel one, and just highlight the places I would like to pop more. So that's like the corners of my nose and a bit in the corners of my eyes. So I like to go back in and blend out my nose contour and blend out the highlight shade, the caramel one, and blend it out together and use my Real Technique sponge just to give it a seamless look so I'm satisfied with how it looks. And yeah. So for setting powder, I like to use the Huda Beauty in the shade Kafana and just set the areas that I concealed. So when I'm done setting my face, I then use the bronzer from Fenty Beauty, and I'm using the shade Mocha Mami. I like to use the same shade and use it as an eyeshadow and just warm up my crease and just give it more of a depth. I just like to use that as a transition shade on my crease, and I just warm it up with that. After I'm done with that, I then go in with a green shade from Beauty Glaze, and it's a color board. And I just start with the corners of my eyes and start blending it inwards. I basically just start working it into the crease and just looking at how I like it so far and just working it in. And I make sure I like blend it outwards and also inwards, if that makes sense. Like how I'm doing. And I also go in with a darker shade, like a darker green shade, just to darken the corners a little bit and just give it a shadow. And then I like to go into my Zulu Juvia's palette and use that green shade. I know it looks blue, but it's green. I then take the Saharan palette also from Juvia, and I just take the gold shimmery shade and I just put that all over my eyelids. After that, I then like to go in with my Magic Mini palette, also from Juvia's Place, and I'm taking this green shimmery color and I'm just putting it around the corners of my lids just to make it pop more and give it that vibrant look. After that, I like to take a tiny bit of black, just a really tiny bit of black because it can really mess up the look, and just give it a little bit of shadow just to darken the corners a little bit. You just got to be careful with it. And top the look with my KUWK Essential Lashes in the style Dreamy. The link is going to be in my bio. After that, I just like to dust off any excess powder with my fluffy brush. And go in with a black eyeliner from NARS and just line my under eyes and blend it all out with a brush and a bit of green under my eyes. I basically use the same green I used earlier, and I just go in with a detailed brush and I follow that up with a more fluffy brush to smoke it all out. When it comes to the lips, I like to use a brown lip liner just to line my lips around my lips. Then follow that up with the NYX Cosmetics Urban Cafe. I really like that color. And just go in the... I also go in the center of my lips with this Fenty Beauty lipstick in the shade Shawty. And I just put that on. I'm also going to add the KUWK lip gloss in the shade Chocolate. I don't know, I just like doing my blush last, so I'm just going to take the blush palette from Juvia's Place and I put some on my cheeks and a bit on my nose, and I use a bigger, fluffier brush just to blend it all out. I also like to add a bit of highlight also from the same palette. And lock it all up with my NYX Bear With Me setting spray, and boom, we're done. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!